Record this meeting. Hi, everybody. It's Carol Ann, and I am the soon-to-be past president of the Robbinsville Democratic Club. Tonight is our chance to hear from our club, the candidates for club officers, and then do our final voting. Before we get to that, I would like to acknowledge the presence of all of our county folks, who I think is just Chairwoman Mirnov here. She is double dipping in a bunch of meetings today, so I'm going to let her give us an update from the county and then let her get to her other meetings. So, Chairwoman?
Good. Thank you so much for the courtesy, and I'll be brief. I think we all been on overload during the election, and you've probably noticed I've gone black in terms of my messages for a little bit. I figured everyone deserved a rest and some peace, and a blessed Thanksgiving and going into the various holidays. So hopefully everyone is taking advantage of that and getting some good downtime. I'm going to be brief. I really just want to do one more thank you after the election. I know that you had a much tougher race in Robbinsville, but all of you and Karen did a really great job, and I do want to recognize that. And I want to say really that in Mercer County, I really want to give a shout out to everyone, because we did really well countywide, and I will tell you that we were recognized statewide as one of the best performing counties, and I know the governor feels that way, and the county chair, and we've gotten good accolades around for our performance and our numbers in the situation. So I was at a chairs meeting in Atlantic City during the New Jersey League of Municipalities, which I'm very active in, and I will say people were getting up from the various counties, and it was a lot of doom and gloom, and somebody kidded me later because I got up and I was very brief, and I said we did really well in Mercer. I went briefly through, and I also indicated that we were part of the only district statewide that had a legislative pickup, and we contributed the largest margin to that victory, the indispensable margin, I'll even say, in the District 16 with Andrew Zwicker. So lot to be, look on very well. And, I thank everyone for all the activity and all the commitment throughout the year. Obviously, we're going to be starting the new year with, we'll be talking about our convention. We'll be talking about keeping people up on redistricting the best that we can. I indicated, I believe the last meeting, that I was I was putting a committee together to do a debrief on the election, and some of the concerns and issues that did generate countywide, and I'll even say statewide, but we'll deal with stuff here and see what the feedback and the recommendations and the concerns are, and how we can try to address them going forward. So that's really it. I just, I want to thank you all for being you and being here, and having me in, and just for the great support and partnership that you provide year round. It's just a delight, and you've just got such a variety of people who bring so much, and have a lot of different passions and interests and backgrounds. So it's always a lot of fun. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much for being here, for all your support throughout our continued existence. The Robbinsville Democratic Club, as you know, this is our very first officer election. And so there's been a lot of things that we've learned over the last couple of months trying to get this process underway. And one of the things that I wanted just to remind everybody, there was a question earlier today that came up to me, and Janice, while you're here, I just kind of would like your just to hear this and to maybe respond to it. The question was, can we change our vote once we've cast it? And I consulted Paula, the Mercer County clerk, and that's not a thing. We make the best decisions that we can with the information that we have at the time. But once we've cast a vote, we've cast the vote, and we'll have a chance in the next couple of years, in 2 years, to vote again. And that seems to be the way the democratic process works, and that's how we're going to do it for these elections. So is there anything that I'm seeing, Janice, that you're nodding your head, and is there anything that you want to add to that?
Oh. So your question is about the elections that are conducted in the town, the county, and the state. I'm assuming that's what the question was directed toward.
The question was specifically directed toward in our club, but since we follow the same kinds of votes that happen, the same voting process that happens at the local, state, and county and federal level.
Got you. So I'm not gonna I'm not gonna step into the club vote, but with respect to the votes that we take otherwise for the other local, county and state offices and national offices. So that would be a correct answer. So once you do cast your vote, if you're on a machine, now we have that's a whole different kettle of fish now with the new process. But it used to be if you were in the machine and you were making your mind up, you could X and un-X. But once you hit the cast button,
right,
then it was recorded, you were done, and use that as your, you can't ever do anything more. And I'll even add that the reason I like that machine analogy is nobody would even know what your vote is or who cast the vote directly. You know what I'm saying? You cast your vote, it's part of the overall count, and you move on. Same way when you do a vote by mail, they check your certificate first, and they make sure that you were entitled to vote, but then they remove it. So the vote is anonymous. So that would be the correct answer.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So I'm just going to share my screen quickly so that we can see where we are on our agenda for today. We're going to have updates from officers and county elected officials. We're already starting there. Scott, do you want to go ahead and do the vice president? Then we'll go secretary, treasurer, and if committee is here, just to kind of give us an update on the officership. Then the next thing we're going to do is meet the candidates for club officers, and then do the vote. And I never shared it. Here we go. There we go. And then do the vote and welcome our new officers. Now you can actually see what I was looking at. It's very pretty. All right.
Thank you, Caroline. Yeah, so I don't have much to update as vice president right now, but I am sort of the one managing the election for tonight. And what I wanted to say to everybody here is, if you had trouble voting, if you're an eligible voter in this election, you would have been notified. And if you have trouble using the Election Buddy system, please email me, preferably before 8 o'clock. I'm going to put my email in the chat, and if necessary, I can collect your vote by email if there's a technical issue to make sure you have your voice heard. That's all I have. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Then Secretary Melissa, I know you're here. Anything fun you want to tell us?
Unmute.
Oh, yay. Yes.
Unmute. I don't have anything super fun, but I just wanted to remind everyone about the drive that we're doing for Homefront and also for Pearson Memorial. Is that what
That's
it's called? So I just wanted to actually clarify. So was today the deadline or is Friday the deadline to drop everything off?
So so people were still getting to me, saying, I was hoping that today could be the deadline, but then people were saying, could I please? So I'll take things till Friday. And I want to super get it to them by like Monday's really the latest, because they really have to start putting together the packages for the families. We are
Okay.
short some things. Hopefully we can get the things. If not, that's okay. You know.
What things are you short?
So I think one of the things that we're short is like the tablet for the one of the children, the clothing for some of the boys. I'm so overwhelmed and gratified about the diapers and the gloves and the hats that we've done. So it was an ambitious list, right? But if we could get that other big, that other sort of biggish ticket item for the one child, I will put the Sign Up Genius in the chat again so people can have it super quick. But yeah, so that's what's missing still.
Carol, question, tablet, what kind of tablet? Should they be new, like iPads or Android or used ones?
I think probably a cleaned off, lightly used one would be fine. If they don't specify an operating system, I think it doesn't matter. But
Well, I have a bunch of iPad lying in my office. They're they're iPad. I think they're iPad Air, but probably they're like 3 to 4 years old, but in working condition. But if the kid wants to do like some kind of schooling and things like that, that's fine. But
okay.
if they want to go play like Fortnite or PUBG, I don't think it's going to work.
No, I think what the use that you had there, it would be great. That would be awesome.
Okay, I have to look into my basement. I'm sure I'll find more than one. So I'll clean it up and reset it to the factory mode, and then I'll try to drop it off.
Perfect. Thank you so much. That would be fantastic. And then from the chat, thank you so much, Lisa. That's great. We'll just see you when we see you. I do have a bin outside my house at the top of my driveway up against the house. And you could just leave the things in there. And if you ping me and tell me that's there, that'll be even better. So, but thank you. This is great. I'm just really excited to see my garage is getting a little bit full. That's very nice. So, Treasurer, Susan?
Hello, everyone. I just have a really quick, brief update. In terms of fundraising for the quarter to date, we've raised $235 in donations, which is great. And our current bank balance is $815.
Okay.
So-
Susan, how are we situated for our projected first quarter expenses for next year?
I don't know. I can't answer that right now. I'd have to look. Marina gave me a sheet that she used that I still have to figure out and put some numbers in. So
Okay.
I will do that.
Thank you. I appreciate that. My understanding is that it takes us about $300 a quarter.
Okay.
We sort of make sure some of the subscription services that we have are twice yearly, some of them are quarterly. So we
Okay.
would need to, yep.
Okay. I don't have a sense for that yet, so I will get one.
Yay. Well, you get to do it. So municipal committee, I don't see Sonia here, but Terry or Rick or who else is a committee member that I'm seeing here? Is there anybody who wants to give us an update from committee?
I have nothing to report, but
Terry, it's good to hear your voice. I hope
Thank
you are
you.
well.
thank you.
All right. So, and me. Thank you very much for letting me be your president the last couple of years. I have really enjoyed creating this club with a bunch of my friends. I have now expanded my circle of friends and the community, the Democratic community here in town. It feels like we really do have much more of an identity than we have had previously, and I'm very excited about the work. I feel very gratified about the work that we have done. There is a lot more that we need to do and that we can do, and I'm really excited to see where this club goes next. I am not going anywhere. I am still here. I just won't be sitting in this spot. And so thank you very much to everybody who's joined, participated, and donated to the club. And thank you very much for remaining engaged, because the club is bigger than just any one person or any two people. It really does take all of us. All right. Okay, so now I hope I am sharing this Meet the Candidates for Club Officers. We're going to do it this way. I'm going to pin Scott to this so that he can introduce each of the candidates. I'm going to be adding them. We're going to work at it. We're going to do it president, vice president, secretary, treasurer. My hope was to have a coin toss. Oh, hold on. Let me unpin him. Was have a coin toss for which of the two president candidates was going to speak first. So Sarah and Kieran and Scott and I are going to go quick into a breakout room. We're going to have an electronic coin flippy thing. You all talk amongst yourselves. We'll be back in a couple of minutes. I'm going to assign manually. This is very fun. I hope I can do it. I want this person and that person and me. Where's me? Shoot, I don't know if I can put me in it. Dang it. All right, let's see what happens. Okay. Da-da-da-da-da-da. Join.
Easily one of the most creative uses of Zoom I think I've seen in the entire pandemic.
You're welcome. Okay, I think I have to go back to the other room. Leave room, because I don't have Kieran. Hold on. Leave room.
The breakout room.
I know, I have to assign him to the breakout room. I didn't do that. It was dumb. Hold on. Hold on. Breakout rooms. Kieran, where the heck are you? You have to join the breakout room, Kieran.
He's not here.
He's not here anymore. It's just you.
Just bye. Talk amongst yourselves. Oh my God, I am so punchy. Okay. Hang on now. I need to hold on. I found this really fun coin flippy thing. This is so hilarious. Where is it? Come on. Coin flippy thing. Okay, hold on. Coin flip. Here we go. There we go. Okay. All right, Sarah. Heads or tails?
Tails. I don't know.
Okay, tails. All right, now I'm going to flip it. Can you see? It's heads. All right, Kieran.
That's so creative. I'm going to use this. I love this.
All right, Kieran, you're going to go first when we get back in the other room. Okay, hang on. Now I have to close it.
What just happened?
I flipped a coin for you.
Okay.
You're going to go first. And
Oh,
You're gonna get your
okay.
speech first.
Okay.
all right, everybody,
Yeah.
everybody loose? Everybody good? All right.
Alrighty.
Leave breakout room. Okay, we had a coin toss. Kieran is going to go first, followed by Sarah. And then we're going to hear from Amanda, and then Melissa, and then Susan. Like I said, I'm going to pin each person and Scott. So Scott is going to be kind of managing all of this. Scott, you want to tell folks how it's going to go?
Yeah, sure thing. Yeah. So again, it's our first election, so bear with us. But yeah, so basically the plan is we'll have 5 minutes for each candidate to speak, and I have a little 1 minute warning here that I'm going to put up on the screen like that when you have a minute left, and then I'm thinking, Carol Ann, perhaps it's 7:20 already. Maybe after we do it, do you want to open up questions after the presidential candidates, or do you want to wait till the end?
Ooh, we can have a couple of
Or do
minutes.
you want to?
Right, I like it. We could have a couple of minutes after
Yeah.
each office. So let
Okay,
Kieran
sure,
and
that's-
Sarah talk,
Yeah.
and then have time for questions to those candidates, and then
Perfect.
like that. It's very official. Okay. All right, hang on.
Yeah, that was great.
Excellent. And we're going to hear from Kieran.
Hello, guys.
All right, so
And,
I'll go ahead. Yep.
Thank you. Thank you for giving me an opportunity to speak. I'm not going to take the whole 5 minutes, so I'll keep it really short. And I already reached out to you via emails. Some of you, not some of you, all of you on via emails and text messages. So the bottom line is we need to do a lot more to grow this club, strengthen the club. We have to go back to some kind of, the usual grassroots kind of organizing the club, which means, going door to door, or even, calling campaign. And Sarah and I were talking about this a little while ago before we jumped on this call. It's not whether I win or Sarah wins, right? At the end of the day, we are all in this together, working towards a common goal. We need to bring some changes in the town. And in order to do that, we need a stronger platform. And I believe that this club will be that platform, should be that platform, not only for the town, for the school boards and everything, right? So we need to make this club more approachable. There is a perception out there. Again, perception is very easy to change. It is just a bunch of the same group of people who kind of, has branded this club as some kind of an anti-town club, or, just because we ask the right things. We need to change our approach. We need to change the strategy, right? We can still do it. So in closing, we need to, I believe that this is like a startup. I come from a startup world, so it takes a lot of work. And one person cannot do it, whether it's me or Sarah in the leadership role. We need all the support from everyone, right? It has to be split into many groups, each working towards a common goal. Each one of the team will have their own goals. And when all of those put together, I think we will achieve that one larger goal, right? And another thing is we need to get a lot of the school kids involved too. The more the school kids in the fold, it's very easy to mobilize in the with school children. There's a difference between me going knocking the doors and a high school senior knocking the door and asking the right questions and kind of asking them to be part of the club. So there are some ideas that whether I win or lose, I'll be more than happy to work for the club. That's all I have to say. Thank you.
Right. Thank you very much, Kieran. Wonderful. So now I'd like to introduce Sarah Siebold, who's also running for the office of president. And you can get started anytime you're ready, Sarah.
Okay, great. Hi, everybody. I am Sarah Siebold. So a little bit about me. I obviously live in Robbinsville. I'm in Foxmore. I work as a political consultant. I work with New Jersey Senate and Assembly members all throughout New Jersey. I know actually one of them I was pretty excited about. Janice mentioned Andrews Wicker was a race that I had worked on, District 16. So yeah, so I work, kind of across the board with state, local, and municipal candidates. So, working to leverage those relationships is very important to me. I know Kieran mentioned we were discussing earlier, leveraging the reputation of the club and things like that. I know that we have all kind of seen how we kind of get kicked around in town. So I know Carol Ann's been working literally around the clock to try battle that. So working on things like that, working on membership, growing our membership. Kieran and I are definitely on the same page. I know we just had a conversation about this, about involving young people in our town, and working on voter registration, and working on growing voter registration, and making sure that people are registered in the correct parties. We have a lot of data sets that we can pull from, and there's a lot of people in this town who don't even realize that they're registered for a party that they might not be actively involved in. So yeah, I won't take up too much time, but I definitely have a lot of ideas to work on relationships with surrounding towns, with the county, at the state level. I have some great relationships with our local legislators that I really want to leverage and push. So yeah, I don't know if anybody has any questions. I'm definitely open to hearing them or answering them.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you very much, Sarah. Appreciate your statement, and really just wanted to say, really appreciate both of you stepping up to run for this very important position. So now I'd like to open it up to questions from the audience. Feel free to just unmute and speak if you'd like, or put something in the chat, or you can direct message me. So go ahead, everybody.
Hello, this is Rocky.
Hi, Rocky.
I have a question for both candidates. How do you see an aggressively progressive platform being a partner within the town and not a dividing entity?
Okay, so we'll go to Sarah first.
Oh, I was gonna say we can go to Kieran first, because we'll continue the same order if you want.
Sure. Okay. Well, we yeah, either one. Yeah. So that makes sense. We'll keep it going. So yeah, Kieran, you can go
So
first.
if Rocky, can you please repeat it?
How do you see an aggressively progressive platform being a partner within the town and not a dividing entity?
So you're referring an aggressively progressive platform to the Democratic Club, I assume?
That's us. Yes, correct.
Yep. First of all, I don't see us being aggressive yet, just because we respond we react to all the posts, comes across as negative. And now we need to be aggressive. One of the CEOs always used to say, like, passive aggressive, right? It has to be done in the right way. And it has to be in the second part of the question is without dividing, right? That's what you meant, right? Division occurs when whoever is in the leadership position will not make any attempt to pull the entire crowd together. For instance, like, I might have a difference of opinion with you, but that might be on a different topic or the personal level, but that shouldn't stop working together towards the club, right? So if we don't take anything personal and act in the best interest of the club, full disclosure, no back channeling, if we all, I hate to use this word, kind of an open book kind of approach. So that way we have to limit politics and infighting within the club. So that's how we can all be, we can be aggressive. We can also be progressive at the same time. I don't know if I answered your question.
Thanks, Kieran. And then now we can move on to Sarah's answer.
So I definitely think that one thing that is very progressive without being political is volunteering. So we have a lot of really great volunteer organizations that operate within our town that are very progressive without being political, and not even nonpartisan, just straight up without being political. So, focusing on kind of, if we can position, one thing that I really do hope to do is if we can position ourselves as a club, as someone who these organizations, I'm going to use one project as an example. I haven't had any communication with them on this, but it's just a well-known organization in town. If we can position ourselves as someone that they can go to when they need volunteers, right? They need 10 volunteers, they can call us up and they're going to get it from us. Positioning ourselves like that in town with an organization that is nonpartisan, that is still progressive. Helping to feed people is a social issue that is unfortunately considered relatively progressive. So positioning ourselves like that is really important. There are a couple other issues that I think are touched on here and there at certain times of the year or certain times of media attention that are not partisan issues, right? Human rights, not a partisan issue, but we make it a partisan issue. So if we can be progressive in that sense, where we have the ability to sit down and say, this is not a divisive issue, right? Human rights, not a divisive issue. Feeding kids, not a divisive issue. And we can put our money where our mouth is and show up and volunteer and be putting people out into the community with the representation of this is the Democratic Club and this is what we do and this is how we show up. I think we can really kind of push that, what I'll call progressive, but is truly just a human rights agenda, without having, I think probably everyone on the Zoom has been called divisive on social media by someone who's an elected official in this town. If we're able to put our money where our mouth is and say we're not divisive on social media, we're not pushing this agenda to be divisive, we are showing up and we are putting the work in. That's something that I'd really like to see from the club. I'd really like to see an organized effort through both more membership and through our current membership of showing up to those things so that we can say we are putting our money where our mouth is from this progressive agenda.
Thank you, Sarah. So do we have any other questions for the candidates? Okay.
I actually have one.
Sure, go ahead.
Thanks. So what would be a way to encourage more people to come into the club, a more diverse group, engaging some of other members other residents who may not know or may not participate in elections or may not know that we actually exist. Have you thought about that?
I think that's a great question. So I'll hand it over to Kieran and you take a crack at that first.
Sarah, do you want to go first?
Yeah, sure thing. Or yeah, whatever you guys decide.
Yeah, I can go first. Absolutely. So I definitely think that around town, and I know Kieran has also heard this a lot, is that one of the most surprising things when you say, oh, the Democratic Club, or this is going on, or, oh, I know that person, they're a member of the Democratic Club with me. This has actually happened to me with Amanda, where someone said, did you see that interaction online? And it was something that Amanda had, somebody, the mayor had attacked Amanda. And I'm like, yeah, I know her from the Democratic Club, right? And people were like, the what? So, Carol Ann has done the lion's share of this work to get this out there, but the fact of the matter is, and it's not a Robbinsville thing, and it's not a Mercer County thing, it's not a New Jersey thing. People are unengaged when it comes to grassroots efforts until something happens to them. So if they are enraged by something that's going on in our community, enraged by something that's going on in another community, they're going to seek out ways to become more involved. And so catching people who are not enraged and ready to be involved is it's an uphill battle. So social media involvement, getting involved with people that are it's not targeting, but essentially looking at people who are involved in other organizations, saying, hey, listen, this is, it's a partner organization, it's a parallel organization, it's an organization that has similar views, or we have somebody who's involved. There are people that I know who are involved at the state level and at the local level who have no idea that the club exists. And I'm floored because I'm like, you are involved in politics, you're a name of someone who's involved, right? And you had no idea our club existed. And yet we are out there and we are on social media and we are doing things, but because they're not looking for it. So I think really getting out there, getting involved, targeting people on social media, targeting people who are involved in other organizations, working with these other organizations to get our name out there. If we're showing up to events, showing up to volunteer organizations, showing up to the high school with a table, for other reasons, to register voters or whatnot, and getting the word out that other people can join and how easy it is to join as well, right? A QR code is all you really need to join this club. Getting the word out that way that people can join, I think is a huge deal. I think that that's something that, we came together as a loosely banded group of people who were upset on Facebook, and many of us had never met. And it's kind of grown from there in a similar fashion. And I think that now that there's a real footing in town, networking with our neighbors, networking with people we don't know that are our neighbors. It's a huge deal. So I think that, you know, we're a diverse enough town that we really can kind of stretch feelers into every corner of it. And I think that you know, it's a growth opportunity, but I think that we do have the ability to reach out to voters that we know of, and then reach out to people that don't even realize that they're democratically aligned, but might have those values as well.
Thank you, Sarah. Kieran?
Hey, Gina, I think I remember you. I knocked your door, right? I think you're in Foxmore.
I
Right.
am. Yes, I am. That was me.
Yeah. You were heading out with your daughter, so you just
Yes.
still took the time to stop and talk to us. And so to answer your question, it's a pretty simple one, right? Because during the campaign, when I went door to door, a lot of people didn't know the club existed. And then some of them were even hesitant when I told them, like, you know, I'm a registered Democrat. That's why I'm knocking on the registered Democrats' doors. And they were even reluctant to share that information because during my door-to-door, I did two things. One, campaign for the township elections. At the same time, you know, promote the Democratic Club, but there's a club in town. So I did that. And now coming from, like I said, I keep going to the startup world. So there's a concept of push and pull in marketing, right? So what I think all these days, we are not in a stage where the club will automatically pull people in because we are not there yet, right? People don't know. So there's no way that we can pull the people automatically. So we have to resort to something called a push strategy, which is nothing but like what I did with some of my campaign, right? In order to reach out to a larger mass, I did use social media in an effective way, which is paid promotion, right? You spend $60 a month, you reach out to at least 15,000 people in like a 3-mile radius around zip code, right? So when you implement that push strategy, it has to be like some meaningful messaging. It can be, there might, for instance, let us say people need to know what's going on with the infrastructure bill. So somebody can write an article, how does it impact the residents of Robbinsville? Or how does it impact small business in Robbinsville, and send it out there under the Robbinsville Democratic Club. And if somebody wants to read that article, they have to enter their email address, right? So that is your push strategy. Now you're collecting people names on email, on social media, right? So that is just one of the strategy. And then the remaining conventional strategies, which Sarah already mentioned, like having a table, getting the high schoolers to participate more in the club activities. And then also, you know, the community day, we need to make sure that there's a stronger presence during the community day. And then also, I think we need to extend our partnership. I think Lisa was here. I don't know if she's still there. Yeah, she's right there. So like mom's demand for a better gun sense, right? That's an again progressive, which just fits with the progressive policies. So we need to reach out to those issue-based partisan organizations as well. There might be members of that organizations who might live in Robbinsville, but they're not aware of the club. There's Sierra Club. There's a lot of clubs which we don't know, right? Another way, we need to figure out a way to reach out to all of those clubs, and then also make sure that we do events together, whether it's Wear Orange event, or whether it's Juneteenth, or it can be any other event, right? We got to align ourselves with a lot of those issue-based nonpartisan clubs. That is how we spread awareness. And I think this sounds very easy, but it's not. But at the same time, it's completely not impossible. It's doable.
Thank you very much, Kieran. Does anybody else have any more questions before we move on to the next office position? Going once, twice. All right. Sounds good. So now we're going to move on to the vice president position. And we have Amanda Gruber is running unopposed. And so Amanda, if you're available to speak right now, are you online?
I am.
Okay, awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and start the timer, and you can get started whenever you like.
I don't know if you need the timer.
Okay.
I'm running unopposed, so vote for me. But no, I want to become more involved with the club because I really enjoyed meeting everyone and working with everyone. And I just wanted to have a better hand in the ongoings of what we do, you know, in our interactions with the town. Before I started working more with the club, I didn't realize, honestly, I didn't realize how much was wrong with our town. Like, a town's great, it's wonderful, but we have a lot of big, glaring gaps that we really need filled. And I wouldn't have known that if I didn't start working with the Democratic Club. And so I want to continue doing that. I want to continue getting engaged with the town council, with the school board is a big thing for me. And so I really want to be able to work with them more and also push back against them on other topics, but with the community behind us. Because right now it does feel like we're kind of isolated. But I know that more people feel the way we feel. So I really want to reach out more to the community and get more people involved with the club. So that's all I got.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much. And again, big thanks to you and for stepping up to fill this position. We really appreciate it. And it's been great getting to know you as well over the last few months, and appreciate all your work. Okay, so now, does anybody have any questions for Amanda? Kieran, did you raise your hand? Go ahead, Kieran.
So I don't know, I'll ask. So Amanda, it was a pleasure knowing you during the campaign, right? But I think it's not just you. I think a lot of us have that tendency to react, right? And now you're running unopposed, you're going to win for sure. How do you restrain yourself from
Not me.
reacting to
Not
every
me.
crazy post out there, right? So
I'm always the one saying, do not go for the bait.
well, this question is for Amanda, right? So do you? So whoever sits in the presidential position, do they have to keep, like yanking you, or should we contract that out to Adam so that he keeps you in check? So
I'll do it.
I can just see Heidi just like poking me repeatedly. Knock it off.
So Heidi can be on your staff. She can be in charge of managing.
I'll be your support person for me.
Yeah, the social media manager.
No.
There's thinking thoughts and there's speaking thoughts. So it's more just.
You know what I noticed, Amanda? One of the responses that you put when somebody said, doesn't it make you want to respond? And you said, of course it does, but I'm in for the long game. And that's what we're in for, the long game. And you're starting to see and moving in that direction. I think it's great.
Best answer is let's
go over your mouth or your fingers.
Right. Let's do it in person, Amanda. I'll go with you. Okay, so that's all I had. That's the question I had. It's more of a general question because that restraint, we need to have that restraint. That's what I feel personally.
Does anybody else have any other questions for Amanda? Okay. Oh, wait, I think somebody. Oh yeah, Lisa. Yeah, go ahead. You don't have to raise your hand. Just go ahead and speak.
Okay. Wait. I need my headphone here. Okay. So Amanda, it's not like a really complicated question, but you said something I thought was really interesting. You made a comment that more people feel like us. They just don't realize we exist and they would be aligned. And I was thinking, so I was remembering a Facebook thing that happened about vaccination, right? And we had some very vocal anti-COVID vaccination. But I also know yesterday we had a vaccine clinic at pond. And it was mostly 5 to 11-year-olds. And we were 3 hours straight. We had 3 tables vaccinating 5 to 11-year-olds. We had 2 tables giving boosters to the parents. There were so many kids.
That's so great.
Literally as young as 5 years old, right? So I'm thinking about these Facebook fights and how the loud people were the anti-vaxxers, but we have a whole community of people jumping in. And for some reason, this is political. I don't know why, but vaccinating your children is political, right? So how do we reach the folks who think like us about these issues? I think, Sarah and Karen have both said they're nonpartisan issue. Do you have ideas in terms of what, because you do a lot of, as in your role as vice president, you'll be, who are going to be our speakers and how are we going to approach things? So how do we reach some of those people who maybe think like us, even though they don't realize that that's a democratic way of thinking? I'm sorry, I'm just having trouble that having a vaccine is partisan now. So
I mean, the one thing is that, so the mayor actually had an entire post that he did in, I want to say it's the Robbinsville Advance.
Yes, you're right. Yep.
He had an
Yep.
entire article about how we need to be vaccinated. It's the only way we're going to get out of this. But it was in like some tiny little part, and like he never promoted it after that. So
He did his part.
I would go and like, that's what I started doing in the beginning was I literally just kept reposting his article anytime we had any kind of, vaccine clinics, of being like, our mayor says this, let's all get together. But like as vice president, I guess I would directly reach out to him more and be like, can you come speak at these things? Can we work together to have more because to be as much like people listen to him. People that don't listen to me or to Kieran or to really anyone on this page, but they do listen to him. So if he could even reach just 2, 3, or 4 of them, like that really helps, and so those are the kind of things that I would try to do is get, I know Ron, he had previously had COVID, and so like he also had a giant article in the newspaper about like take COVID seriously, and having him come and try to speak about, doing clinics and stuff. So that would be more what I would try to do, is to try to get some of the more prevalent people around town to try to help promote the clinics.
Or do like a co-event where, right? So that it would be something. I know that we've tried to get them to come to different events and they've always said, oh, it's partisan, we're nonpartisan, whatever. But vaccinations and those type of things are not until they're made that way. So and
for a COVID vaccination clinic, like that's something that is fairly easy to reach across it.
Right.
Because this is for the good of the town, full stop. It's not about if you're Democrat, Republican. I just don't want you to get my kids sick. So how about we just, let's all just get our shots. So that's something that is easier to reach across the aisle for.
Yeah, the town, it would be nice if we can get the town to hold a vaccination clinic or something in the senior citizen, right? That's how, that's how we, I don't want to say put the administration on the spot, but if you really mean what you said in the article, that means like, why don't we hold a vaccination clinic in the senior center?
I think because we share a health department with West Windsor, I think that's why all those clinics I think are technically.
Well, that's fine. It can be them, but the thing is, who is sponsoring it? Who is holding it? The township.
I'm sorry to interrupt. Actually, I'm sorry. I actually do want to keep things a little bit more on schedule. It's a great discussion. No, it's totally it's not anybody's fault, but I do want to keep things on schedule because we're already at 7:50. And now is a good time. I just want to remind everybody. So the voting actually officially closes at 8 o'clock. That's in 10 minutes. So now is a good time to get in there. Make sure if you haven't voted yet, to make sure you know what you're doing. Everything works. Again, if I'm going to check on my email. So if you have an issue with voting, please email me. And I think we're going to appreciate your answers and discussion, Amanda. We're going to move on to the next office. So now we'll move on. We'll move on to the secretary position. And we have Melissa Riley running for that particular position. And Melissa, are you online right now? There you are. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so you can go ahead and get started whenever you'd like.
Yeah, hi everybody. I know most of you. My name is Melissa Riley, and I've been the secretary for the past year or so, a little over a year for the Democratic Club. And in that time, I've really enjoyed getting more involved and giving other people the chance to get more involved too. I know. So I became secretary in 2020, and I really felt like I know we've talked a lot about like local initiatives. I think one thing that I want to draw attention to also is like sometimes it can be overwhelming to find a way to get involved on the state or federal level too. Like you just don't know, like, oh, you think I want to call people or, you know, phone bank or write postcards or something, but it's like, who do I go to for that? And I would really love to see our club be kind of a clearinghouse for initiatives for people to get involved on the state level and also federal level if need be. So, you know, we've talked a lot about local, which is super important. And I think I will also say, you know, I definitely think that we need to find a way to partner better with the town for sure. But I also think we can continue to hold them accountable when need be. I don't think we need to compromise our values or kiss the ring in order to maintain our, you know, in order to grow membership. I think if we continue to stick to our values and stick to our beliefs and hold our leaders accountable when needed, that is the right thing to do. I definitely think that there should still be a line there with what we're willing to work with and what we're not. But anyway, I'm ready for secretary to continue to stay involved. I've really loved being secretary for the past year. And if I'm looking forward to working with anybody who's on the ticket, I'm really excited to work with anybody who gets elected. I don't know, does anybody have any questions? And Kieran, no, I won't shut up online. So we could just nip that in the bud there.
Wait a minute. I got a job to do.
Thanks a lot, Melissa. Yeah, as usual, we really appreciated you stepping up. I guess it was a little over a year ago to fill that position, and you've done a great job, and really appreciate you running for it again. So do we have any questions for Melissa? Okay. All right, with that, we'll move on to our final position, treasurer. Susan Sibilia is running for treasurer. And Susan, are you online?
Yes, I am.
Okay, wonderful. You can go ahead and get started.
Hello, all. I'm Susan Shibilia. I've lived in Robbinsville since 1998, so a long time. I have 3 kids, 2 are in college, 1's at the high school. And my husband and I own a small business. We own a little Christmas tree farm, so this is our busy season right now. And I also work at the College of New Jersey in the political science department. I volunteered to fill in as the interim treasurer when Kieran had to vacate the position because he was running for office. So I've only been doing this for the fall, really, and was trained by Marina, which was a great help. She showed me all the things that she learned while she was doing the treasurer position. So when the position was open, I thought I would run for it because I want to be more involved, and I was disheartened over the last year to see you know, the Facebook negativity and the way progressives in the town are characterized. Also, I would really like to be part of a team that was working towards getting some independent voices on the school board and on the town council. So if I can have even a small role, you know, doing the bookwork and filing the paperwork for the club and aid in the efforts of the volunteers and the executive board to do those things, I thought, well, let me give it a try. I'd also like to see the club, I mean, it's already doing so much good stuff, but expand our outreach and our volunteer work, just to kind of build on our good name and build on the reputation of progressives in the town, and use that maybe to parlay some folks onto the town council or school board that are, again, independent voices. So I'm happy to be running, and would be really happy to work with the executive board, whoever's elected tonight. And thank you for giving me the opportunity.
Well, thank you very much, Susan, and thanks again for stepping into that role and
Sure.
running for. Really appreciating, getting to know you over the last couple of years and the work that you do. So, does anybody have any questions for Susan? All right. Doesn't look like it. So, we finished exactly where we hope to finish around 8 o'clock. So, what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to wait for the results. I'm not able to see the results until 8 o'clock. I'm going to wait for the results to come in and tally them. And so I'm going to go dark for a little bit, and I will come back online when I have the final results.
Scott, can I, it's not a
Sure.
question for Susan, but just a comment. Susan, so when I was approached, right, to do the treasurer, fill in the treasurer spot, I thought it was going to be very overwhelming. But after I had to file the same forms online, like the R1 filing, and I think it's the same NJ ELEC. It's not that complicated. I don't know if you've done it, because now I sat through the treasurer training and everything during the campaign. It's not rocket science. It's pretty easy. So please reach out.
Thank you. I have done it once for the third quarter. So I have.
Just reach out to me, and and then also the NJ ELEC people, they're very, very nice. I've called them a couple of times. They handled me and walked me through the process. So you're not alone there. You have all the help you need. If you need.
Thank you so much, Karen. I appreciate that.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right. So I guess you can all talk amongst yourselves. Maybe you can continue the conversation about starting vaccination clinic, whatever you want to talk about while I look for the results. Thank you.
So while we're waiting for the results, we always do from the membership at the end. We can do the from the membership right now. How is everybody doing?
Fantastic.
Awesome, right?
Right. I know that are we only on one screen? Yeah, we are on one screen. This has been like a kind of a shitty year for some of us. I mean, like, some of us are maybe doing great, and that's awesome, and I'm not gonna yuck your yum or steal your joy or whatever the hell. But like 2020 was a pain in the ass. 2021 is like the pain in the ass's like rebel cousin. And so 2022 better just be nicer, because I think I'm done.
Someone pointed out to me that they're like, oh, I just feel like really overwhelmed this holiday season. And I was like, well, it's because we're celebrating 3 Christmases in one. If you didn't see your family in 2019, you haven't seen them now since 2018. And now you're doing, I was looking at my calendar, and I have Christmas parties, work-related Christmas parties, the day before Christmas Eve. That never would have happened the previous year, but now we're trying to jam it all in because we've been going years without it,
Yep.
It's just nuts this season.
Yeah.
Exactly. We have a lot of stuff for work too, where we've just got constant, like, all of a sudden each department wants their own party. It's just like, guys, let's calm down, let's breathe. But they're just like, we're all together, we can all go get drinks. I'm like, let's just pump the brakes a little bit.
I'm like, I don't want to get drinks with you.
So, Amanda, do you have to go to work every day, or is it just a couple of days a week?
I go 4 days a week. I'm allowed to work from home 1 day a week. Yeah, so 4 days I commute into the city.
I don't know. I always wondered how people travel to New York every day.
Well, I don't drive. I go to the train, which is only like a 10-minute drive, and then I sit on the train for the hour and I just read my book. Except today I left my Kindle at home and I was like, what do I do with my life? It was traumatic.
3 to
Somehow,
4 hours of your time, right? Every day.
yeah. It's hard. I'm hoping in the new year they let us do more remoting, like twice a week. That'd be great. A lot of people in my world in finance, they were like, no, there's no way you can work from home. You absolutely cannot. And clearly the past year and a half has shown you can. It's just whether or not they'll let you. So I'm curious what the new year will bring. So I'm hoping for good things. Good things.
I did it for 7 years and it almost killed me. And I don't know how you did it with kids, because the second my daughter came along, I moved the business down here. I couldn't do it. It's a backbreaker.
Yeah. That was the hard part about being home, was because before that, it's all I knew. I've always worked in the city. I've been in the same company for 17 years now. So like, but then I worked from home for almost 2 years. My kids got used to me being home for dinner.
Yep.
The first week I started going back to work full time, my son literally pulled me into his room and was like, Mom, we need to talk. Why did you miss dinner? And I was like, listen, Savage Joe, I don't know what you want me to tell you, but I have to work. You like these toys? I have to work. And he was just like, well, don't do it again. And I was like,
It's a rough commute. I drove in and drove out yesterday, like parking garage, right? Easiest possibility. And it was flat out an hour, 40 minutes. And I was downtown. I was right at the tunnel, an hour, 40 minutes drive. And I grew up on the Midtown Direct. So like, I think of going into the city like as a quick little hop, skip, and a jump. And I'm like driving and I'm like, I'm not even in Carteret yet.
Right.
I have to drive into Queens tomorrow night. I have to go to an event with one of my assemblyman clients. And I'm like, I have to be in Queens at 7:00. And I'm just like, I think I have to leave at 3. I don't even know. Like,
yeah, no, you actually might, because it's Thursday. So like once you get into the holiday season, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it gets gridlocked easily.
Yeah,
it's gonna be. If you leave at like 3, you're gonna get there at like 4:30. But if she leaves at 3, she'll probably get there like 4:30. But if she leaves at 4, she might not get there till like 8. So it's like,
wow,
that's what's so insane. And I'm going up to North Jersey first. I have a meeting in Passaic at 3:30. I think my meeting is. So then I'm going to bounce from there and try to take the bridge and then take the Major Deegan and try to do it that way. But I'm just like, I told the assemblyman, I was like, I will see you when I see you.
Right.
Because I might get there at 5 and I might be sitting in the parking lot of this event for a while, or I might get there at 8 and you're just going to have to like accept you've taken me out of state. So I make no promises.
One thing though, with not having the commute, like I don't miss the driving commute, the train commute, now that I'm working from home, the train commute was a good time for me to have me time. Like you said, bring my Kindle or play games. Sometimes I'd work, but it was me time. Now that I go upstairs and downstairs and I'm doing laundry in between, and sometimes I'll start dinner, like there's not that separation. So in some ways, I only went into New York for 2 years there. I went to Newark for 6, but it just not having that separation, I haven't totally figured out yet how to take that time to transition.
That's a good point. I feel like I hear so many people say that, and I work in Heightstown, and prior to that worked from home prior to the pandemic. So I never learned how to not have the separation. And I have actually a good friend, my neighbor, who worked in Newark. He would get on the train, take it to Newark every day, and now works. And I'm in Andover, so we have like these lofts, right? So he's like working in the center of his home. So it's like he doesn't even have a basement or a separate room where he's shutting the door. He's like he's staring at the rest of his house. And I was just like, how do you separate? And he's like, I just don't stop working because he doesn't have that natural decompression. Right. And I definitely think the drive home, the commute home, whatever, it helps with that. But I never learned how to do that. So I think my husband's on this call and I think he's probably laughing, but like, I will go, I took this call in the car so my kids couldn't be up on me. They're actually inside right now decorating a Lazy Susan tree that we got on like Saturday.
Excellent.
Still
Thank you.
undecorated in there, but I will go inside and work for another like 3 hours just because I have no work life separation,
Right.
work home separation from not having a commute. So
Mhm.
it's interesting how that probably has affected the larger community at large, especially in this area where we all commute into the city or into Philly.
Right.
I don't want to do that. I mean, a lot of times I've gone to Boston in the morning and come back in the evening, and I still see my neighbor who's still not at home from New York City. That's how bad sometimes the city commute can get.
Jeez.
Now that everything is opening, I had to be in Vegas last week. That's the place I really hated, and I was telling somebody. Last visit was the 60th visit to Vegas. And I said, like, I'm just 40 trips away to make an anniversary of 100 visits in Las Vegas. And I hate the place. I don't know why. But all of our sales meetings, conferences, QBRs, everything happens there.
Jeez.
But you get a lot of airline points though. That pays me for my India trip to see my parents.
Yes.
Kieran, that's actually what I'm going to tomorrow night is
All right, everybody.
I'll text him. I'll tell him later.
So yes, sorry to interrupt. Yes, so I have I do have the results from the election, and Caroline, should I share my screen or just verbalize it? What do you think?
You can go ahead and share your screen. That could be fun.
Okay, sounds good. So I put everything in a Google Sheet. So hopefully I bring up the right window here. Okay. All right. So can everybody see my screen? I'm not sure. Yeah, can people see my screen? So,
Yes.
Okay. So yeah, so these are the results. So we had a total of 23 votes out of a potential 82% turnout. For the office of president, Kieran did receive 14 votes. Sarah received 9 votes. So Kieran has won that particular position with 60.9% of the vote. And for vice president, secretary, and treasurer, Amanda, Melissa, and Susan each received 100% of the vote.
Congrats.
Congratulations, everybody.
Election.
Yeah, congratulations, everybody. And
Congratulations.
yeah, and yeah, I know you guys are going to do a really awesome job.
Hold on. I wanna.
We're not letting you off the hook, Scott. We're
Yeah.
still, you and Carol we still continue to pick your brains.
Yeah. All right.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I did actually, I have a farewell speech as well. I don't know if now's the time, but
Now's the time. It's fine. Now's the time.
Yeah.
Go.
Okay, sounds good. But yeah, again, just first of all, congratulations to everybody who ran, who put effort into this election. And yeah, I have complete faith in the team. And so here's what I wrote. So it's been an absolute honor to serve as the VP of this organization for I guess about a year and a half. And so I'm proud of all the work that we've done, the candidates that we've helped, basically two local elections and also the federal election. Biden, we played a non-zero role in that in the federal election in November, past last November, to elect Biden and to get the Senate, and we've been able to pass some very important laws, and hopefully we'll pass some more laws in the future. And we've done a bunch of community organizing events. We've had speakers, and really proud of the education that we provided the community, and we've done also a fair amount of charity work. I know that was mentioned today in in both speeches as something that we can improve upon, and that's certainly true. But we've done a lot of it so far, and yeah, I really enjoyed the process and cherish the friendships that I've made. And yeah, so right now I'm kind of refocusing my volunteer time to a local youth organization that I'm spending a lot of time on. So I'm sort of going to be pulling back from the club a little bit in the near future, but I'll be back. I know I'm not off the hook, I know. So, but I'll be back to contribute. So that's all I have to say. So thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Scott, also for being the nominating committee chair. We had a nominating committee, and then things happened, and then it was just Scott. And then when we realized I wasn't running, that's when we joined forces to get this nominating committee going. I'm really excited that this all is happening and turning out this way. Thank you very much, everybody, for being a part of this process. We can hang out and have some more fun time. We can. The way that this works, pretty much, is you are all now the board. So I'm gonna give Kieran the password to everything. I am signing out of everything as of tomorrow morning.
Hey, this doesn't start in January?
No. Starts right now.
Not that it matters for me, but.
Start right now.
Carol, password including your personal bank account?
Ha ha. Never submit your passwords in a Google form. I'm gonna text you it. You're welcome, Susan. But the personal bank account, remember, I'm underemployed, so that's not a thing right now.
Well, you said that passwords for everything, so.
Yeah, the passwords for all club-related things. And y'all can just have a really good time. I expect that there'll be a press release or some fun, lovely thing. And while I'm not going into obscurity, I do want to let people know that I'm more than happy to hang out and do club-related events. We never, because there was so much turnover in the executive board in our first year, we never really did get around to formulating standing committees. And I think I had mentioned that before, but I think now we've got people who are sticking around and doing things, and so we can probably, I'd really like if I could just have that little bit of thing that you might want to consider a new executive board, that might be an area of growth that could probably help facilitate all of the work, the great work that you all were really saying was really important.
So Carol, question. So which role usually handles like press releases and things like that?
Melissa writes them and puts them out. We usually have a discussion about that.
Here's your first task. You got to reach out to info around Robbinsville Advance. We start our publicity and advertising like now. Announce the new office
tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I mean, whenever you feel like, but yeah, so we should start with an official statement, press release saying that it is the new office bearers and blah, blah, blah. You've done that during my campaign. I don't have to say that, so. Thank you.
Hit the ground running.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, I have no doubt about it. I mean, it's like during the campaign, like 12 a.m., 1 a.m. Sometimes I would feel bad and I had to respond to her. That's how much into it she is, if she really puts her mind into it.
I don't sleep.
Yeah.
That's the trick.
Yeah, I have to say, Melissa, it's really nice to have someone with your skill set on the team, and yeah, you work really hard, and I can relate to the not sleeping thing. It actually helps to be more nocturnal to do this kind of work. If you're going to bed at 9 o'clock every night, you're not going to get anything done.
Oh no, I'm up late, but I sleep in late because I don't have kids.
Oh, I'm actually a morning person and a night owl, so it's a lot of fun. Tough. Yeah, and then.
Well, we have a very good team, I guess. Dangerous combination between Amanda and Melissa. So that's almost like like a tanker and a grenade, like, that's the kind of.
But Sarah, I hope that you will still stay involved and like maybe head up a committee or something.
Well, we're not going to let her off the hook either, right? So that was the conversation we had before we got on this call. So she's not going anywhere either.
Good.
I am not running for committee. I'm represented by two wonderful committee members who are already on this call.
No.
But obviously, I mean, I think
committee.
it's a pair of golden handcuffs that I can't not be involved, unfortunately.
No, like a club committee. So we can talk about this another time, but like in our bylaws, we have room for different committees, like an events committee, like a social committee, electeds committee. I can't remember all of them.
There you go. I am the electeds committee.
There you go. So different things like that. Yeah. So.
And
for people to step up and take other leadership positions as well. So we hope that.
Yeah, and I just want to second that too. Like Sarah, what you've learned and the work that you've done, through your professional work, I mean, is really valuable to the club and the connections you have.
Yeah.
So yeah, we're really, really hoping that you stick around. If you could, that would be a perfect committee elected.
What do you mean if you stick around? I mean, it's for us to make us stick around.
Yeah, but no, it's gonna be.
Luckily, we're coming into an off year, so I have a little more free time coming up.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, so yeah, in New Jersey, there aren't a lot of off years, but I guess this would be.
Yes. So I only worry about Senate and Assembly. So for me, it's an off year. Yeah. Next 2 years from now, I have everybody again. So.
Right. Okay. For the state level, I see what you mean. Yeah. Oh, that's great.
Sorry, yes, I don't do congressional, that's why.
Right, exactly, yeah.
ELEC only, no FEC.
Yeah.
I have to jump off, but congratulations to everybody. Carol Ann, I've said this to you privately and I mean it. You and Scott, you as well, starting this up and getting it off the ground is monumental. And so I think take great pride in what you've done, and moving forward, we'll try to carry the mantle through. I know with Amanda's emails, we can do it.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, Heidi. It's really been great.
Thank you, Heidi.
Working with you.
Have a good night, everybody.
Have a great night.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.